and that we don't welcome outsiders. I'm afraid things will be very difficult for you. I'll box every elf. How you like rounded ears? Where the scissors? I'll box every elf, I swear. They gonna think I'm racist after that.
Bruh.
I didn't mean that, guys. How y'all doing, JCs? It's your boy Joshua. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Part 2 of Ebon Light. We back with it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what happened last time. Do I gotta explain? No? Do you want me to get into it? Yeah. Let's get it. Oh yeah, so follow the socials. Twitter, I update when I stream. Twitch.tv/JoshBlurred. And I also let you know if a video ain't coming out. You know what I'm saying? You don't, if you a bust if you don't follow the Twitter, what's wrong with you? Okay, so where we last left off, this idiot is just, I don't know. Dude need to go back to Europe. So this dude wants to take my girl back to where he came from. And I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that. Oh, I am. She drank the cottontail. The cottontail belongs to us. She belongs to us. What an asinine logic. If you didn't want the spice eaten, you should have kept it closer to home. It was not. He waved his hand. You don't have a choice in this. If you didn't want to be subject to demands of your betters, you would have made yourself stronger. Or perhaps you would have avoided fumbling into history that doesn't belong to you. Shut up, bro. Like, you low-key weak, dog. If, like, you are Krillin to the Ginyu Force, bro. Like, stop it. How do you even know we told the truth? You're ready just to abandon. I think it makes as much sense as anything in this deplorable village. You didn't smuggle it anywhere. I would have seen. I searched that hut of yours through and through. You don't get in my way. I could tell Vanya wasn't going to back down easily. She seemed calm, but I knew her better than that. I also knew that my aunt was unlikely to achieve anything beyond getting herself hurt. Beg her to do something. I won't come. It's alright, Vanya. Yeah, let's calm her down. Vanya, it's alright. The elf wants to drag you off to his cave. I'll be alright. We need to go now. Alright, elf. I'll go with you. I know. He wasted no time leading me away. So what is he gonna do with me since I have the cottontail in me? Am I gonna start generating powers or something, my boy? He hasn't said a word since we begun walking. I didn't choose to break the silence myself either. The elf followed from a slight distance, only stepping forward to nudge me in a different direction every now and then. I could tell that we weren't headed to the village, that we were headed toward the coast. Where's Galea? Ugly scars. I don't need to say nothing to this nigga. I felt no desire to speak with the elf. Yeah, man, screw this nigga. What was more to be said anyway? Another exchange where I say I don't want to go, and then he says you have no choice. I preferred silence. This way. This time, instead of nudging me in a new direction, the elf had moved through the trees, called behind for me to follow. I stopped walking and stared at where the elf had disappeared to. I sent a look over my shoulder, began to consider. What was that? There was a strange noise nearby. And then, only for a moment, I saw the Oh! I accidentally tripped my mouse. Oops. I saw the shape of another figure darting through the trees. Were there more? Human! The fear that whoever else was out there might be worse than the elf I already had pushed me forward. Elf? Yeah, elf? He didn't answer, but he was moving fast. I was losing sight of him. Where are we going? To the Bastion. It looks like we made it just in time after all. The heck is the Bastion, bro? You gotta slow down. The Bastion, proud vessel of Galea Navy. Bastion's more than 26 years old, and it first of this kind rocked in where the hood. Wow, I thought it said where the hood at. Like, god dang. General Lane's fleet, as in a number of his legion, has always been the smallest. A ship. And you expect me to be on that ship? You will be on that ship. I will. You know what? Fine. Let me save. Let me see what happens. I want to save and see what happens. I will not. I am not setting foot on that ship. Not alive. Do me credit. I don't have to kill you to get on that ship. Aren't you getting bored of this exchange yet? Besides, if you are going to dig in your heels, why come this far? You didn't give me much choice, and the situation is different now. Try to piece together what little information I had. Try to remember any time anyone ever referenced Galea in the past. I couldn't remember anything. Indeed, this ship was somehow larger. On the beach not far from us, there were dozens of elves, just as pale, sullen-faced, dark-clad as the one who found me. You and I made good time. I thought we were going to be late. Stay put, you'll board shortly. Weave a basket or have some children, or whatever it is you human have some children. Like it's like it's fast food restaurant. What is up with this dude? Bro, what? I watched the elves for a little while, but the longer I did, the more surreal it all became. Try to imagine where we were in the relation to my village. How far north we must have been so that no one would have seen the elves' massive ship. Surely someone in the village must have seen one of these elves. What were they doing here? As the sun set, my worries began to fade, though it only lasted for a few moments. Between the strange weariness, the rosy sky, I felt comforted, pacified. All right, human. It's Akila. We're leaving. Perhaps the calm I felt scrunched up a desire for dignity, because I realized I wanted to call my captor by his name. What is your name? What do you want to know? Are you hoping to be friends? I would like to know the name of the elf who brought me here. Lasiaga Darha, first scout of the Galean forces. I was a little surprised he told me his name. In a bizarre way, I felt surprised he even had one. This all felt too much like a dream. Get moving, human, quickly. My name is Akila. I'm not the one who asked for introductions. Wondering who will remember you? Oh yeah, I'll joke. Oh, then if we call each other whatever we please, I'll call you Lacey. Fine then. Lacey. Excuse me? I've always liked lace. It's only, oh yeah, you like lice. Yeah, I know that for sure. The shepherd's wife has a lace shirt. It's so pretty and delicate. You have any idea how easily I could kill you? But you won't, so shut up. So you keep saying. Yeah, what? Put pussy in it. Got a few odd looks from the elves. They're all as pale as Lacey. We're all dark armored, and they all seemed to have dark hair. Their looks lingered. Wherever the anomaly I was, I must have been that remarkable. No, you look like food. They move with purpose, diligent, efficiency, and unwilling to be distracted. Lacey had followed me on the deck, staying behind me at the increasing distance. I even lost sight of him in between crowds on occasion, but I suppose he wasn't concerned. Where was I going to go? Try to move out the elf's way as best as I could, but I still seemed to be making something of obstruction. So I tried to stand still. The elves moved me around. I would not. Oh, she kind of bad. She kind of bad. Is that Daedric armor? Ugh, Skyrim nerds. And they're the same people that replay Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch. Freaking losers. There you are, Lasiaga. I heard the name of my escort and looked to the woman who spoke it. She was marching towards him. Commander. She the commander? Okay, I mean, shoot. I hadn't realized Lacey had caught up to me until I heard his voice over my shoulder. Your little side venture was successful, I take it. If not, she gave me a long, curious look. Then I'll demand a smuggling fee. There are proper channels if you really insist on taking your lovers home. She is what Dulia wants. What is that name? He's always been a bit of an odd one, hasn't he? Alright, why not? Welcome to the Bastion, human. It seemed I ought to get used to be called human. I'm Commander Calipio Millerose. What the? Man, I gotta read you losers. Commander? Does that mean you're in charge of all of this? The gigantic ship? The masses of black-clad elves? The mysterious agenda somehow involving me? Oh no. No. I am in charge of part of this. I'm also in charge of him. She motions to Lacey, sounding ever so slightly smug. I felt a surge of optimism. Alright, so we got new people. We got Calliopoa, newly appointed commander of the 1st Division Forces, under the rule of her uncle, General Faling. To say her ascension was at all due to familiar favoritism would be a grave mistake. There have been a few who mastered the sword as fast as she, and fewer who couple this with this skill with drive and presence. And then we got Lacey over here. Among us, weren't to ask, they would likely have nothing remarkable to say unless they were to find particular demeanor insulting, and happen to have a great admiration for skill with a bow. Lacey has a few minorly impressive moments in his military, but nothing which sent ripples through the force. Just enough prestige to get him saddled with a scouting partner like Vadane Millerose. Okay, so I've also noticed that our skill points are also increasing. So I wonder if the options I pick are probably the reason why these increase. Then you can let me go. I held my breath, but she sighed and glanced away from me. I might have, but it's a bit too late. The ship has sailed. Literally so. Further, I don't have any interest in crossing the Onyx Chandler human. I'm sorry. But a word of advice. If the Onyx Chandler wants you in his clutches, he'll find a way to have you. If you're clever, you'll figure out how to keep him from wanting you. Is this from the options I picked now? She sighed, seeing me to struggle with something. I am really busy, despite appearances. Let me think. What can I... Perfect. Va dang. The commander seized the attention of another help, but immediately stopped what he was doing and walked towards us. He sent a look to the commander, then his gaze fell upon me. Who's this? A human. Yes, Commander, I noticed, but she's for the Onyx Chandler. And no, I don't know what he wants with her. I began to notice tension between the new elf and Lacey. Well, they got beef or something, bruh? They stared at each other in silence for a few long seconds. Then I realized the ship had begun to move. It was the strangest sensation, and it threw my balance just enough that I had to crouch down to steady myself. Are you alright? Ah, there he goes. Far too easy. Come with me, Luciaga. You have some things to explain. Oh my god, get this simp boy away from me. He looks like a Chad. Kelly, Poa, and Lacey immediately left, leaving me with the new elf. He held out his hand, offering me to help me with my balance. I'll be nice. This don't mean anything, Chadley man Chad. This doesn't mean that you in my grace. Take his hand. I hesitated and reached out to take his hand. He held my hand tight, helping me steady myself, and all these helps were deceptively strong, it seemed. After I stood again, I regained my balance, and he let my hand go. First time on a ship. Yes. Wasn't that obvious? Was it common to have spent time on the ship? No one I knew had ever been on a ship like this. Alright, there have been a lot of new things happening to me lately, thank you. You seem nicer than Lacey. Okay, let's say that. Hold up. Oh, I definitely hope so. Wait, what did you just call him? Lacey? You call him Lacey? That's bizarre. You never heard of nicknames, boy? My name is Smackaho, and I don't mean that lightly. It's not as though he was happy with it. I've no doubt. You're not hurt, are you? No, I'm fine. I try not to panic at how relieved he looked. If you don't mind, how did you end up? I'll tell him. Yeah, we going against Lacey. What's up? I'll use this against him. Lacey tracked me down after for the Onyx Chandler. Evidently, I drank something that he thinks is his property, and thus I am now his property myself. You... what? What? That's ridiculous. Ghanaians don't take possession of people. That's slavery. What does he think he's doing? He can't just afford himself exceptions. I watch as the elf jumped from one outrage to the next, but it only lasted before he regained his composure. Oh yes, conspire against Lacey. I am the new Orochimaru. Are you hurt? Did he hurt you? He can't force you to come aboard. Leah has no official standing. No status, no command. Yes, he made me. Yeah, let me get out of here. Yes, I had no choice, and it didn't feel like he was lying. I am so sorry. The elf was apologizing? I was suspicious. A little caught off guard. Luciaga isn't someone I wish on my worst enemy. He thinks that if someone is defenseless, they're simply at the mercy of people who are stronger. So he pushes people who can't stop him. Then I should learn how to defend myself. Yeah, I low-key need to do. Then my first order of business to learn the most effective and diverse ways to kill elves. I didn't say that, girl. Calm down, bro. I'm slightly uncomfortable. Clever. So you're a smart elf. Oh, I haven't even... My name is Vanton Millerose. What's your name? Akila. Smackaho. Don't forget the Smackaho, Akila. You need to let these people know. I hadn't heard Millerose before. Well, truth be told, retaining names was currently a low priority. I didn't think that was the commander's surname as well. Were they related? Well met, Akila. I'll show you to a hammock if you like. It's very crowded, but at least you'll only be among women. Okay, bet. Are the women here soldiers? Your people let their women fight? Yes, my people have ever distinguished between men and women that way. Do yours? Sort of. There aren't really soldiers in Edric, but there are roles. Ah, did they restrict you from being what you wanted? No. Edric has lazy tradition, and, well, I live in the woods. I made my own rules. That sounds blissful. Bro, I kind of mess with Vadin. I'm not gonna lie. I might be speaking into existence too early, but I kind of mess with this dude. He showed me to the ship's hold and gave me simple directions to finding a row of hammocks. The ship's innards were anything like I had imagined. It was so dark and almost impossible to see anything. You can find it now, can't you? I really shouldn't go any further. privacy and all. Oh, it's because it's like females? If you need anything, I have to get back to duty. But truly. Can you tell me more about Galea? Yeah, tell me more about that. Can you tell me more about Galea, your people? I have no idea where I'm going. He gave a heavy sigh. I could tell you that Galea is a dark place, and that we don't welcome outsiders. I'm afraid things will be very difficult for you. I'll box every elf. How you like rounded ears? Where the scissors? I'll box every elf, I swear. They gonna think I'm racist after that. I didn't mean that, guys. Can you tell me something a bit more specific? Galea is a small island. We live in one primary city with a very dense population, completely encircled in a fortress wall. We are known for our forces, an army that enlists more than 2/3 of our population. We are essentially mercenaries, though be mindful who you repeat that to. Most Galeans don't appreciate the term. Okay, bad, noted. I wish I could think of how to prepare you. This is foreboding. What about Lacey? You knew Lacey was involved with my arrival? I saw the two of you arrive, yes. You noticed me come aboard then. You must really hate him. Do you and Lacey have history? Yes. Do you hate him? Yes. Well, tell me about yourself then. Me? Well, I'm a scout in the forces. 1st Division. Is that like what Lacey is? Yes. Exact. Laciaga is. Do you know the commander? The commander? Oh, yes. She and I are cousins. We were born within weeks of each other. We're close. You'll find a lot of my family speckled across the chain of command. Your pops was like, I love it when they call me Big Pop. Does that mean you're important? Oh, no. Not at all. This is foreboding. It's so dark in here, and so Galea decorating. I believe we see better in the dark than your people do. You must. It's all just a haze. Perhaps your eyes will adjust. More than my eyes are going to need to adjust. Dang. So he's gonna make me walk around in the dark, bro? Like, I understand. Take care. Left alone for the first time since morning, I stared down the narrow pathway before me. Man, I'll hop out this ship and start swimming. Well, what I could see of it, it seemed far less busy down here, but occasionally I'd feel the movements of others around me. I eventually found the chamber Vaden had told me about. I was starting to see better. Perhaps my eyes had been adjusting after all, but it didn't help that the Galeans seemed intent on keeping everything in shades of black. The hammocks all I could see were filled. The sleeping elves were, as far as I could tell, all female. Ooh, okay. It was difficult to tell where I stood, but I thought I spotted one in the 3rd row. There was also a wake elf, but had been staring at me since I entered. Check on the 3rd. Ask the elf. Pardon me. Ooh, it's a black queen. It's a dark elf this time. Eyebrows flew up. She continued to stare, but she didn't say a word. I realized belatedly that this elf looked more different than the others. If it were not for the eels, I have thought her she was a human. Try again. Yep, you talking to smack a hoe. Pardon me, my lady? The elf's silence continued. Perhaps she doesn't understand me. How rude. Fine, just stay silent and stare at and loom as you elves do. For all I've seen, that's all you're good for. That and kidnapping. I'll have you know I have never kidnapped anyone. Yeah, I got you talking, huh? I got you talking. Oh, she can speak. I can speak. Yes, but speaking with finesse means choosing when to. No, this means you're a loser. And you probably have bad breath. Such a charming elf. Elf shrugs. Asks for help anyway. Can you choose to help me find a hammock? Elf sighs. Who told you to come down here? Vaden Millerose. Then I suppose. Alright, fine. Yeah, speak to royal blood. You can sleep in any of the unoccupied hammocks. Follow. Felt a little really relieved as I followed the elf past the 1st row of hammock. We moved past the 3rd and all the way into the back of the chamber. It's an instinct on the ship to want to be near the exit. Further back you are, the longer it takes to get out. Looking at you, I think it's everyone's best interest that you stay secluded. And why is that? You little racist? Alright. You're not Galean, and you're on a Galean warship. You really need further explanation? Yeah, I actually do, because you're a bubba brainy. Man, get out of here. Your booty smell like anchovies. Farts. Freak. It was surreal. Like I was in the belly of a giant beast. I was left alone for the rest of the night. Those around me seemed to sleep soundly, as theirs was hard to earn slumber. I didn't seem to concern them. Come morning, I had gotten a little sleep. I spent the night lying still in my hammock, marveling at all the things I didn't know. I wouldn't stop wondering about the cut and tell and what it might do to me. The hopeful part of me had rendered the cut and tell physically innocuous because it had been a day and a half, and I was still fine. But other parts of me that also recognized my situation aboard a massive ship. There must be a reason for all of this. Around the time the elves who had been sleeping when I first arrived were waking up, laying still with only my wanderings had become too much to bear. Quietly snuck out my hammock and made my way back into the hall. The hall is busier than it had been evening prior. The majority of elves were moving in one specific direction, deeper into the ship's hold. The jumbled sounds of elves speaking to each other hit me with the realization their language was not of my own. I shouldn't come surprised, but it did. Perhaps because the elves I've spoken to was so far all knew my language, but now I was giving it some thought that was very strange. So do I get okay, it says follow the majority of elves deeper into the ship. Go back up to the deck. Man, I'm going back up to the deck. I decided I didn't really need to know what the elves are up to. Truthfully, heading to the deep of the ship sounded like a terrible idea. Man, it probably was a good idea, but who cares? I just need to see the light. I just need to see the light. The deck was just as busy as it had been before. We were out at sea, past the ship. All around was blue. Edric was long gone. The elves skittered across the deck like spiderlings and ignored me yet again. Whenever I got in their path, I tried to ignore them in return and focus my attention on the ocean. Out of sight, out of mind? I don't know. This is just making worse. Of course, sometimes it is almost a curse to be self-aware. I knew the elves were there. I could feel them moving around me. I couldn't ignore them. Bonding myself to their actions only made me a panic bubble in my chest. The frick? Desire, virtue. I'm looking at my stuff now. Charm and tenacity, daring. My daring is up. Desire. I definitely want to get my faith and might. Okay, who is Busted Boy? Bro, if you don't get your BTS, identify yourself. The voice approached from behind, demanding intense. I felt my body intense in response. I'm defending myself now. Refuse to answer. Man, fuck, nigga, I ain't listen to yo BTS. About to sing me a single looking ass. Man, shut up. Stupid. I kept my mouth shut. Answer me. I back up. His tone remained calm, but he moved closer still, his weapon drawn. Why should I? So you can demand more of me with that weapon afterwards? A human aboard a Gillian ship should have answers. There had been a good reason you're here. Do you usually need a reason? It seemed to me you all can take whatever you want, and it's as simple as that. So you're implying you were taken because I have something you want? I waited for the elf to argue, to ask me what, but instead, who brought you aboard? A scout. Lacey. I see. Satisfied, the elf lowered his weapon and stepped away. That was all? I watched him leave with disbelief. I noticed some of the elves passing had been paying us some attention, though their expressions were mostly amused. Okay, so I'm kind of wondering whether I should go back in the deck. I'm gonna stay on the deck. Whatever was so funny, the elves went back to ignoring me after the demanding elf took his leave. I took a deep breath and looked back out in the water. What are you doing? Shut up. Lacey, be aggressive. Man, shut up. You have a lot of nerve. I thought you decided to keep your distance. I almost started thinking better of you. I came because I had no choice. But for now, for all your talk, you don't seem to be capable of killing me. You confuse capability with restraint. I can easily become unstrained. Then do it! Yet you remain restrained. It's not actually in your power to unleash yourself, is it? You're essentially someone's dog. We're far off the coast in deep ocean now. The closer we get to Galea, the colder the water gets. The deeper the ocean, the more violent things lurking beneath the water. I would be mindful. And shut up. I'd rather jump in the water. Are you threatening me? I'm warning you. Isn't that obvious? The ocean is far less forgiving than I am, and has nothing to gain by keeping you alive. He watched me in a second. You can kick and scream, but what can you do? You'll see. I noticed Amir speaking with you earlier. Emery? The elf with the sword? It wasn't a sword. The elf with the blade pointed at me. If something like that were to happen again, tell them you've been summoned by the Onyx Chandler, or if you must, tell them to take it up with me. I'd rather not. Why? To cut out your footwork, or to avoid getting stabbed? And again, all this talk of might and aggression, and yet here I am, whole and unscarred. Do you truly not believe what is plain before your eyes? Unless it bloodies you first. I don't believe your talks amounts to much. Ooh, get him! Then why come aboard if you could have flexed your arm and walked away at any time? I might have had a choice then. Oh, enough. You didn't have a choice then. You have a less of a choice now. Look around you, human. I am Lacey. You're on a ship bigger than your whole village, surrounded by soldiers, destined for an island. Do you know what an island is? Yes. Well then, you should know that on an island, there is nowhere to run. Man, shut up. What does the Onyx channel want with the cut and tail? I'm not completely sure, but the cut and tail is ancient. A lot of research and theory is spent onto the cut and tail, and when you unceremoniously drank was only the physical cut and tail we've ever found. What is it? A marrow. Yes, but I don't know. Have you? Who the hell is this? Bro, you better back up, bro. You are a very strange woman. Lo and behold, another elf. You another puppy, bro. You was not wearing any of the uniforms. I had to associate as a scout or a soldier. I am not the only strange one. You're a little strange yourself now. Why aren't you wearing one of the uniforms? You certainly take things in stride. An admirable quality, not one I expected from a human. Man, shut up, nigga. I'm special. You'll find that I don't have much common with my fellows. Certainly truer now than ever before. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed anything odd? Sensory changes? Noise? Feelings? Lucia's gaze turned to me with interest. Perhaps it was what he was going to ask me before. Shut up. I'm not here to answer your questions, elf. Yeah. Alright, I want to be dominant, bro. Baby maid. I want to be dominant, bro. Alright, look. Because then, like, daring, increase, cunning, curiosity. I want more charm. I actually want a crap ton of charm. Lucia gun size. Nor yours, Lacey. Well, I had hoped otherwise. Heron. Ernol. Dang, y'all got lovers quarrel? Go handle that, bro. What are you worrying about me? You can't handle me right now? You're not supposed to be here, Haran. Yet another elf approach. It prompted aside from the first. This is what you call inconspicuous? Inconspicuous. You couldn't at least try to blend in? Calipoa gave me permission not to make an ass of yourself. Then the new elf seemed to finally realize I existed. And he seemed confused. What? Who are you? Why? If you thought I was charming, Madra Lee, just wait until you get to know Ernol, my brother, has the grace of an elephant. Why is this human aboard the Bastion Heron? The Onyx Chandler. Do I want to? Get details from him. I'll have you know I'm not thrilled about it either. Why? I'm sure he has a reason. Not that he needs one. You already have one human trophy. She's not a human. She's half. That doesn't matter. What does Dulai want with this human? What would you mean? She's half what? She's half what? Did the cut the tail? Okay, is the cut the tail some type of like potion herb that makes me like an elf now or something? I don't know. I focused my attention on the first elf, Heron, who seemed to know something he wasn't telling. His attention was focused on me in return. Both of us stayed silent, willingly the others to speak first. For the love of the heart, this is not the time or the place. If neither of you care to explain, both of you need to get off the deck. Especially you, Heron. You'll just keep attracting the curious up here. Man, I don't know anything. I steeled myself. I don't have the faintest clue of what Delay or the Onyx Chandler wants with me. They're the same person. No dip. Ernol gave Heron an expectant stare, with the both of us silently waiting for him to show his hand. He eventually caved. From what I've heard, she has some connection with the ancient marrows. Can't tell. He found some. It seems he has. But ask yourself, why that would take the form of a human? Ernol turned his gaze to me. Both brothers staring at me. Felt extremely uncomfortable. She can't be hiding it. It's possible she doesn't know she's hiding it, but I think that she can't retrieve it. I had a feeling this Heron knew what happened, but he seemed to want me to say it and confirm it first. I don't have to say it. You figure it out yourself, homeboy. I kept quiet. Whatever information was to be shared would have to come from Heron, not I. I was tired of being manipulated. I was tired of having the truth dangled just outside my grasp. But you don't have confirmation of anything, do you? Ernol sighed. Dulai is going to strike the wrong vein one of these days. I don't know anything for certain. Of course, if she has disposed of cut and tail in a matter I expect, I could probably offer her valuable information about her situation. Another clear attempt at manipulating me. I certainly can't force her to be forthcoming, though. Remain silent. I don't care, nigga. Keep wondering, dream boy. However, I wanted my questions answered. I refused to be played. I kept my face still, and though the question lingered in the air for a few moments, eventually Heron dropped his shoulders in defeat. Well, it's a moot point. Dulai can handle this. At this point, I'm far more interested in my fool's brothers, princes on deck. Ernol, You could have expected me to ignore this. Yes, I could have. Are you sure you don't want to talk about what happened? Before I can answer, Calipoa interrupted us. Yeah. Heron, I told you to keep out of sight, you maggot. Ernal growled, and that's that. This is on your head, Heron. Nevertheless, Heron seemed unfazed. Try to keep a note of anything odd you might feel. Bear it in great attention. It could end up extremely important. Allow yourself plenty of rest. Every nuance, even the barest threads tied to the cut and tell, it's all invaluable. Affluence as well as influence. And that is why the Onyx Chandler wants me. One of the reasons. The Lion calls himself the Onyx Chandler because he's one of our foremost entrepreneurs. And a Galilean entrepreneur is by nature. I will string you to the mast there. And there you will stay if you do not. He's going. I have to go. But keep precious care of yourself. I watch Ernal watch Heron and Poa move away. Though Heron had seemed irreverent at first, he was moving off quick as he could, peering through thoroughly cowed. Then all was left was Ernal. Alright, y'all, I think we're gonna stop it here. Yeah, man, this is pretty interesting. There's a lot of reading, but at least it's interesting, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind the reading. I'm very curious on like how it's developed because it seems like all of the stuff that you do and the options you say also affect her kind of skill tree. So like cunning, you know, you have doubt, discord, desire, virtue, daring. So my daring's up because I'm just kind of like resisting everything that they throw at me. And you know, cunning, curiosity. I want to increase my charm, but I don't know how exactly to do that. So I like that they're trying to implement some RPG features to it, to a visual novel, and still have it interesting enough to like make it where it's kind of choice based in a way where you decide what you want to do and how you go. I don't know, man. I'm very curious on this cut and tell. It seems like the cut and tell is gonna give her some type of special abilities or senses that makes her different from a regular human, because it just seems like that was like the one thing they were searching for, and since our main character drank it, it's just kind of all over. So I'm very curious on how they're gonna go forward with this, and the characters can we trust. I mean, so far I messed with Vadang. Lacey's even interesting. He just wants to do his duty as a, you know, a part of the force. Heron and Ernol seems pretty interesting. Heron seems like the more of like the witty, cunning type dude, and then you got Ernol, who seems like the worried brother that's more like smart, has his head on straight. He'd be like the person at the party trying to make sure nobody goes home doing some stupid stuff, you know. Calipoa seems very nice and interesting as well. I don't know, I guess it's just like, what will be the objective, you know, like as we're going, we're kind of figuring out the objective and who to trust and what not to trust. But bruh, don't let me find out I got powers. I'm telling you, bro, I'm going to be, if anything, having discord. Anyway, y'all let me know your thoughts and theories. Do you think that I'm doing the right choices? What do you guys think? You know what I'm saying? Let me know down in the comment section below. As usual, stay blessed, keep pace, stay strong, and I'm gonna see you when I see you. Peace.